Imagine this. You're standing on a Kansas ridgeline. No palm trees, no ocean breeze, just 11,000 acres of golden prairie rolling like slow surf in every direction. The wind feels older than language. The horizon is endless. And then, cue the prehistoric drama. A woolly bison lifts its head and locks eyes with you like it's sizing you up for dinner. Or at least a stern conversation.
And that's when your husband, who should definitely know better, says the words no wife wants to hear while holding the travel insurance card. Come on, baby, let's get a little closer.
Welcome to The Latitude Adjustment, the podcast where aging isn't a slow fade. It's a bold, freaking encore. Join Rusty and Erica, two rebel-hearted guides with a suitcase full of stories, a camera, a compass, and zero tolerance for boring self-help. They're not here to fix you. They're here to remind you, you were never broken. So whether you're craving clarity, connection, or just a passport stamp for your next chapter, you've docked at the right port. Grab your sun hat, loosen your grip on the grind, and get ready to chart a new course. Mind, body, and soul. This is the Latitude Adjustment.
This episode is about your code of honor and the awkward, glorious moments when you realize why you actually need one. In our case, that realization came somewhere between the bison staring down and Rusty whispering, "Message received."
Look, I was just trying to get a better photo, maybe 60 yards out.
Which for the record is also the exact distance it takes for you to become prairie salsa.
I'm not saying I make good choices. I'm saying the wind told me it was okay. And, the wind lied.
This was Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve, home to one of the last great swaths of tall grass in North America. Less than 5% of it remains. We stood there in awe, surrounded by a sea of grass, chirping grasshoppers, and Rusty's inner 12-year-old whispering, "Adventure, danger, photo op."
But there was also that sign, remember? Bison can run 35 miles per hour. You cannot. Respect the distance. That was less of a guideline and more of a prairie prophecy.
I think that has to do with perspective, right? And right then, one of those bison gave us a look like he just read our code of honor and didn't buy a word of it.
It snorted, and not politely.
Yeah, that was the prairie saying, "Back up, buddy. This isn't your turf."
Today's episode is about something deeper than rules. It's about your internal compass, your tall grass protocol, your unshakable, made on purpose, soul-built guide to being you.
Codes of honor aren't just for cowboys and samurais. They're for podcasters who like to flirt with bison death and for anyone trying to live a life that means something.
You don't wait to make your code during the stampede. You make it before. You make it so when the adrenaline kicks in, your compass still points true.
Exactly. A personal code isn't about being rigid. It's about being rooted in your deepest values, your lived wisdom, and your commitment to not becoming a cautionary tale on the Ranger's radio.
That bison day reminded me that rules exist for a reason.
Got it.
Even the fun ones. Especially the ones that keep you from becoming bison pate.
Just so you all know, we made it out with all limbs accounted for and a brand new entry in the Harrison Travel Code. Rule number 12, if it snorts, you retreat. No questions, no photos, no exceptions.
That's just right after rule number 11, when the threat is real, defer to the woman with both a camera and common sense.
And rule number 10, Erica is always right, especially about danger zones, animal proximity, and snack logistics.
I'm getting a vibe that rule number 10 is your favorite.
Do you know me that well?
Your personal code doesn't have to look like ours, but you do need one. Otherwise, you're just out there on an open plain of life improvising with a paper map and a pair of flip-flops.
Your code says who you are when nobody's watching, what you do when things get tough, what you won't do. So let's talk about creating it before the crisis.
If you don't write your code in the calm, you'll write it in the chaos. And chaos doesn't leave room for editing.
We've seen it over and over. People without a code get swept up in the moment. They say yes to things that shrink their spirit. They say no to things that actually would have grown them. They lose themselves trying to keep the peace, win approval, or outrun discomfort.
But a good code, it pulls you back to your center. It whispers, hey, you said you wanted to live with integrity. Remember?
Your code isn't a slogan. It's not a bumper sticker. It's not just live, laugh, love, and a prayer. It's the thing that tells you who you are, what you stand for, what lines you won't cross even for applause.
And it's got to come from you, not your parents, not your preacher, not your LinkedIn bio.
And unless your preacher is you, right? In which case, get it printed on a t-shirt and, pass the offering plate.
You know who had a code? That Bison. His code was, don't mess with my bubble. Ours? Still evolving. But every encounter, every snort, every whisper of wind has helped to shape it.
You got it. So it's time for a quick recap. So far, we've walked into the tall grass. We saw some bison. We almost saw the ER emergency room. And we remembered why it matters to build your code of honor before the moment tests you.
Your code isn't a rule book. It's a relationship between you and your most authentic self, between who you've been and who you want to be.
Coming up in segment 2, we're getting practical. How do you actually build that code without turning into a walking Hallmark card or a BuzzFeed quiz?
We're talking about non-negotiables, rituals, and the one Aging Heroes challenge that will help you find your North Star before the next Bison shows up. All right, Aging Heroes, we made it off the prairie with all bones accounted for. But what did we learn? That sometimes a snort from a 2,000-pound animal is your soul's way of saying you need better boundaries.
This segment is where we do more than laugh about it. We build your honor code toolkit, not for emergencies, for every damn day. Because heroes don't just wing it. We don't. We walk into the world with intention.
And hopefully a little distance from whatever snorting beast you're facing, whether it's an angry bison or your mother-in-law's group text. The code is the compass.
So let's start with a simple truth. Your code of honor is a compass, not a leash, not a rule book carved in stone, but a living, breathing declaration of who you are when no one's grading you.
It's not about being perfect.
No.
It's about being anchored.
You got it.
When the wind kicks up, the world gets loud, and temptation rolls in like thunder, your code whispers, this is who I said I'd be.
Without it, you drift. With it, you navigate. You don't chase approval. You choose alignment. You don't break promises to yourself. You honor them. And that changes everything.
So here's some tools for crafting your code. We've broken this down into 3 core pieces. No fancy parchment required, just a notebook, a little self-honesty, and maybe a cold drink. You ready?
We're ready.
Number 1, define your non-negotiables.
These are your never cross lines, the principles that make you, you. Think, I will not lie to protect my ego. I will not abandon myself for comfort. I will not sacrifice kindness for cleverness.
You can write them like vows, like trail markers, like bison range perimeter rules. What are the truths you want to live no matter what the wind is doing?
Number 2, name your core commitments. Now, what do you stand for? Not just what you won't do, but what you will. I stand for honesty, even when it's hard. I show up for people I love. I protect my peace like it's on the endangered species list. Those are your core commitments.
These commitments are your tallgrass trail. They don't make you rigid, they make you rooted. And rooted people don't get yanked around every time someone snorts at them.
So number 3, declare your daily practices. Here's where we get specific. Your code is alive. So you need rituals to keep it breathing. So maybe it's morning journaling, 10 minutes of silence before reacting, gratitude before griping, saying no without a paragraph of apology.
Whatever it is, it's your way of saying, I don't just believe in this code. I practice it daily, like brushing my teeth and avoiding bison.
Let's call out a few traps we've seen. Number 1, copy and paste syndrome. You pull a list from Pinterest and call it done. Number 2, virtue signaling vocabulary. You use words like authenticity and resilience, but forget what they actually feel like. And number 3, perfection paralysis. You wait until your code is airtight before trying to live it. Spoiler, life's gonna poke holes in it. That's the point.
The best codes evolve, like ours. Once it was, take the scenic route. Then it became, don't die doing it. Now it's, stop before the snort.
Okay, heroes. Here's your challenge for the week. And it's one of our all-time favorites. We want you to grab a journal, a notebook, or the back of a dinner receipt. Doesn't matter. Write 3 sections. My non-negotiables. At least 3 I will not statements that protect your integrity. And then your commitments. 3 I will declarations that define your personal North Star. And last, my daily practices. 3 small habits or rituals that keep your code in motion.
You don't have to share it with the world.
No.
But if you want to, we'll be right here on the island with a campfire and a listening ear.
And remember, this isn't about pressure. It's about presence. It's not about looking good. It's about feeling whole.
Make it raw, make it real, and make it yours. Let's do a segment 2 recap.
Let's do it. In segment 2, we handed you the toolkit for creating a personal code of honor, the kind that makes your life lighter, braver, and bison-proof.
You don't need a PhD or a spiritual guru to do this. Just curiosity, courage, and a little paper. The bison may still show up, but you'll know when to zoom in and when to back up.
Coming up next in segment 3, we're putting this code into action. What happens when your values meet conflict, messiness, or someone else's chaos?
Welcome back, heroes. You've got your code of honor. You've named your non-negotiables. You've claimed your commitments. You've even declared some daily practices. Now comes the test.
Here it is.
Can you actually live it when the world forgets to play nice?
Because let's be honest, nobody's testing your honor code while you're sipping mango juice in a hammock. No, the test comes when your coworker throws shade, your kid forgets your birthday, or your bison locks eyes and says, try me.
I once made the mistake of telling a group of college students that my personal code includes always assume good intentions. 2 days later, a student turned in a paper titled The Matrix, a metaphor for nap time, and cited only their cousin as a reference.
To be fair, The Matrix is kind of nap themed, right? You know, that human battery bit.
That's true. But the point is, when your values get tested, you find out real fast which ones were decorative and which ones had muscle.
Let's go back to that Kansas prairie for just a second. After the bison encounter, we kept hiking. The trail rolled on for miles. The wind flattened everything in rhythmic waves. We passed a sign that said, "Stay on trail. Grassland restoration in progress." And I remember thinking, wow, that's us. Restoration in progress, right?
That sign hit me too.
Yeah.
Because my natural impulse was to wander off, explore shortcuts, get a better view.
Sure. I think that's everybody, right?
Right? But staying on that path, that was part of the preserve's honor code.
Mm-hmm.
And if I honored that, I was saying, this land matters, my ego doesn't.
And that's the one thing about honor. It shows up in the little moments when no one's watching, when your choice won't get you praise, when the easier path is one step to the left.
Sometimes living your code means bumping into someone else's. And let me tell you, those collisions, they're not quiet. If you don't believe me, consider how opposition voters acted towards each other after the last election.
Maybe your code says truth above all, and your partner says keep the peace at any cost. Now what?
Or your workplace praises efficiency, but your code says people first. Suddenly, that team meeting feels like a cage match between your paycheck and your soul.
The key is to stay curious. Ask yourself, is this discomfort calling me to expand? Is it asking me to speak up? Or is it revealing a boundary I haven't named yet?
Remember, an untested code is just a Pinterest quote. But a code that's been challenged and chosen again is wisdom. That's armor you forged yourself.
Let's talk about the moment no one likes to admit. That's when you break your own code. When your patience runs out, your sarcasm wins, or your boundaries crumble like dry toast.
Yep, been there. Said I wouldn't gossip, then texted, just between us.
Said I'd protect my peace, but opened my inbox at 11:57 p.m. and replied to a passive-aggressive email with an aggressive one.
Seen you do that.
You have not.
Baby, you will definitely get involved in something at 11:57 p.m.
It's never the aggressive tone, right?
No, that's true. You're not aggressive. All right, the trick isn't never messing up.
Right.
The trick is calling yourself back, saying, that wasn't me, but I know who I am, and I'm coming back to that.
You don't need shame. You need realignment. You're not building perfection here. You're building integrity.
Your code should feel like a compass, not a chain. If it's choking you, you're doing it wrong.
It's not supposed to make life harder, guys. It's supposed to make decisions easier, because when you know your values, you don't have to overthink every choice. You've already chosen.
And when the world says, just this once, it won't hurt, your code says, that's not who I am. That's not the story I'm telling.
And sometimes your code saves you from yourself.
So here's what we've walked through in this segment. Your honor code gets tested in messy, hilarious, uncomfortable moments. Living it well means choosing presence over pride. When your code collides with someone else's, curiosity is the bridge. And when you fall short, grace is your guide home.
We said it on the prairie, and we'll say it again right here. You don't need perfection. You need direction, a compass, a creed, something that whispers, let's stay on this trail. Restoration in progress.
Nice. Coming up in segment 4, celebration time. Because if you've made it this far, you've started to write and live your own code of honor.
And we're going to throw a little island-style dance party in your honor. Cue the coconuts. If you're still with us, congratulations! You did something most people avoid their whole lives. You didn't just make a code, you owned it.
You named your non-negotiables. You called out your commitments. You even scribbled down some daily rituals, which means you're already doing better than half the corporate mission statements out there.
And let's be clear, this isn't fluff. This is soul architecture. This is trail marking. This is that sacred moment when you stop waiting for the world to tell you who you are and start telling the world instead.
So here's to you, aging heroes, to the version of you who looked life in the eye and said, I won't be tossed by other people's drama, marketing schemes, or bad moves. I will not hustle for worthiness, abandon myself for convenience, or let fear call the shots. I will live with courage, clarity, and a code I wrote myself.
Here's to the you who backed away from the metaphorical bison, not because you were scared, but because you were wise. You saw the danger, you read the wind, and you still kept your dignity and your kneecaps.
To the one who knows that honor isn't just about showing up for the big moments, it's about showing up consistently for the little ones. The ones that happen when no one's watching, when it's inconvenient, when it's Tuesday and your inbox hates you.
To the one who writes their life like a prayer, walks it like a protest, and laughs like a retired pirate with a pension and a story no one believes.
Here's to the code keepers, the compass carriers, the wild, wise wanderers who were not here to play small.
Honor isn't quiet. It hums beneath your choices. It dances in your boundaries. It whispers in your yeses and echoes in your no's.
Cheers to every choice that keeps you aligned, to every time you choose presence over performance, integrity over ego, meaning over momentum.
Cheers to the trail you're blazing 100 yards at a time.
One last reminder before we let you go polish that new honor badge on your chest. Your code isn't final. It's alive. You'll refine it, rewrite it, rethink it when life gets weird, which it will.
But every time you revisit your code, you get closer to the truest version of yourself, the one that doesn't need applause to do the right thing, the one that doesn't flinch at snorts or disapprovals, the one that walks with honor because it feels right in your bones.
And if you ever lose your way, if the fog rolls in or you get turned around, just ask yourself, what did I say I stand for? Then take one step in that direction.
If this episode hit your heart, if it spoke to you, share it. Text a friend, tag us, and go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Aging Heroes. You can also find our full tribe at www.agingheroes.com. Next week, we're tossing the compass and grabbing the crayons. We're talking creativity, how to unlock it, unbox it, and let it lead you somewhere wildly unexpected.
You don't have to be an artist to be creative. You just have to stop apologizing for the weird, wonderful stuff that wants to come through you.
So whether it's painting, dancing, journaling, or designing miniature hammocks for emotional support ferrets, next week is your invitation to play.
That's episode 4 of season 2, Be Creative. It's going to be weird, soulful, and just a little glittery.
So here's some final words for today's episode. You did something sacred today. You named your values out loud, and that takes guts.
You built your own tallgrass trail, one that's strong enough to stand the wind and wild enough to make bisons curious.
Until next time, heroes, keep your compass close, keep your spirit barefoot, and remember,
honor is who you are when the trail gets quiet.
We'll see you next week.